Here's your First Warn Weather Forecast First, sponsored by Anderson Collision Center. Visit driveanderson.com.
Steady snow spreading across the state line here late into the night, and in many spots we're starting to see that accumulate on those roadways, especially in many of those that have been untreated. Some of the heaviest snow still sitting back out across parts of Iowa, hugging along I-80 and I-88. That's where we could see snowfall rates upwards of 1 inch per hour or more. Anything that falls is going to stick, given that our temperatures are in the 20s and back below freezing, though we had some melting earlier today, so a lot of that may refreeze then on those surfaces as snow comes down. Steadiest of the snow lasts through about 4 a.m., then slowly tapers off by about 6 a.m. I'll let you know how much of that snow could come down and the windows for that heaviest snow coming up in just a few minutes.
Coming up, a benefit held in Belvedere for a student battling cancer. It hopes to help the family's financial struggles. Plus, downtown Rockford welcomes a new tattoo parlor. The parlor aims to increase foot traffic. And an annual holiday event got visitors into the holiday spirit and took visitors back in time to the 1800s.
Live from WTVO 17, this is Eyewitness News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Kelsey Woodall, and thank you for joining us. Before we get into those stories, we head back to the Weather Center. Our next round of snow is moving through the state line. Jordan, what do we need to know?
Kelsey, a lot of that steadiest snow already pushing into the state line, and we really see that with the drops in our visibilities. That's a way to show where some of that heaviest snow is coming down. We're reporting 0.8 miles of visibility in Rockford as well as in Janesville, 1.7 miles of visibility in DeKalb, 2 miles of visibility in Sterling, and even down to a half mile of visibility out in Galena. Where you get those numbers that are below 1 mile, that's where you have some of the heavier snowfall rates that have been coming down in many spots. The heaviest snow still sitting back across parts of Iowa, although now spreading into far northwestern Illinois. That's where you get these darker blue colors, where you may be able to see snowfall rates exceed at least 1 inch per hour, at least for brief periods of time. A lot of the steadiest of that snow will likely persist as we then head over these next several hours. Much of the steady snow already spreading through the area, so slowly becoming heavier over the next half hour from midnight to 4 a.m. The heaviest window for snow when we likely see those snowfall rates in excess of 1 inch per hour, especially along that I-88 corridor. From 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. Sunday, that snow will then slowly be tapering off, but blowing and drifting may become a concern as our winds start to pick up out of the north. There's those steadier bands of snow right along the I-88 corridor where we have that heaviest snow persisting through about 4 a.m., then slowly tapering off and eventually even giving way to much drier air for the mid-morning hours, but that could come with some blowing and drifting concerns. I'll let you know of the Arctic high pressure that then takes hold and how cold our temperatures could get following this snow. Coming up in my full forecast in a bit.
Thanks, Jordan. A benefit was held for a Belvedere High School student amidst his ongoing battle with cancer. The Backstop Bar hosted a benefit for high school junior Michael Perez. Perez has been battling a rare form of bone cancer since July of 2024 called Ewing's sarcoma. The benefit tonight included a $10 cover, a live DJ, and raffle baskets. Michael's mom said they are grateful for all the community support.
I just feel so grateful for everybody participating, donating, and it wasn't easy last year, but I just had my family, but this time we reached out to the community and everybody helped out and it worked out great.
Contributions can also be made through GoFundMe. Women's Space hosted their 13th annual There's Something About Mary Artisan Market. Eyewitness News reporter Stephen Lewandowski stopped in earlier today to learn more about the importance of shopping local.
Last weekend with the storm and how that impacted all the local vendors that were part of Stroll on State.
This is Nicole Landreth. She's the executive director of Women's Space. After 8 inches of snow put a hindrance on small business Saturday, she says shopping local is more important now than ever.
We're all in this holiday season, especially right now, really trying to make sure that we're supporting each other, supporting our community, keeping things local.
Women's Space hosted their 13th annual There's Something About Mary Artisan Market. Landreth says the market is a big boost for local artists.
It's a holiday sale, so it's an opportunity for artists and handmade artisans to sell their sell the work that they've been creating all year to, keep the local economy very strong.
Colleen Blanchard is a quilt artist. She's participated in the market for 3 years. It means the world to her to see people shopping local.
It's very fulfilling. It's nice to know that what you're making means something to someone else besides me, and my husband. He's very supportive also.
While the holiday market is a boost, supporting local artists is something Woman's Space does year-round.
Our membership to Woman's Space, to our nonprofit organization, allows you to sell your work throughout the year in our gift shop. And so we're always trying to make sure that we are giving an outlet to people to share what they create with the community.
Reporting in Rockford for your home team, I'm Stephen Lewandowski.
A new tattoo parlor is now open in Rockford and ready for clients. The Gold Standard Tattoo Parlor had their grand opening today in downtown Rockford. The parlor gave away raffle tickets to all paying customers. That included whether they purchased a tattoo, a t-shirt, a gift card, or raffle tickets. One of the owners said he hopes being downtown will provide them with a lot of foot traffic.
It's been great. I feel like this spot, being downtown, I think was a huge thing for us. We wanted to get down here and be part of the art district. We wanted to be something more than a tattoo shop. So that was one of our most important goals.
They also gave away up to $1,000 in tattoo certificates. This morning, NICU families got a dose of holiday cheer. Mercy Health Foundation hosted their annual event, Breakfast with Santa. The event included a visit with Santa, cookie decorating, holiday crafts, breakfast, and more. Tickets were $20, and all proceeds will benefit babies in Mercy Health's neonatal intensive healthcare unit and their families. The NICU manager said this event is a nice way for past and present NICU patients to come together for some holiday joy.
It's really nice for our families, and it's nice for our nurses to actually see our patients and see how they've grown and see what milestones are hitting. And it's also nice for our families that are upstairs right now that might have other little children that they want to bring and kind of take a break from, being up in the NICU where it can be a little stressful, and have a little bit of joy with some of their other children also.
L&L Builders and Northwest Rescue were sponsors of the event. Rockfordians had a chance to grab some last-minute holiday gifts this afternoon. Rockford City Market hosted a vintage holiday pop-up market. Vendors had vintage holiday items. There was also live music and more. One vendor said she enjoys selling vintage items and being able to connect with buyers.
I just like it when I make a connection with people and they stop and they're like, oh, my grandmother had this, or I remember that, and then when I sell things online, it's the same thing. Somebody will message me and say, oh my God, thank you so much. I've been looking for this item for so long, and it really reminds me of a loved one. And so it makes me feel good too.
Rockford City Market's next event is next Friday, December 12th. It's called Sleigh Bar, a holiday pop-up experience, and will be there for the rest of the month. Visitors were able to step back in time tonight at the Boone County Annual Holiday Walk. Spencer Conservation Area hosted the family-friendly tradition. The event included live music, arts and crafts, sing-along with carolers, and some holiday treats. The Director of Education said this event helps people get into the holiday spirit, but also gives them a history lesson.
It gets people excited about the holidays, and it gets people aware of where those traditions came from and why some of those things we say are said, and the songs that people sing and the food that people associate with the holidays, and how that all came about.
Visitors were also able to look at the 2 historic cabins which were built in Boone County to see how the pioneer families would prepare for the holidays. Coming up, continued discussions between American and Ukrainian representatives on a possible framework for a peace deal with Russia. Officials say territory and security guarantees were discussed.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Kelsey Woodall, Drew Collins, and meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
American and Ukrainian delegations are meeting again this weekend and working on a possible framework for a peace deal to end Russia's war with Ukraine. But as those talks continue, Russia is carrying out new drone and missile strikes on military and energy sites across the country. Here's ABC's Perry Russum with the details.
Russian forces carrying out a massive strike Saturday on Ukraine's military complex, energy facilities, and port infrastructure, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia used 653 drones and 51 missiles as Ukraine marked Armed Forces Day. Ukrainian officials say forces shot down and neutralized 585 drones and 30 of the missiles, but 29 locations were struck, including this warehouse in Lutsk. Firefighters working to control the flames. These latest strikes come as the United States and Ukraine delegation hold what the State Department is describing as constructive discussions. A White House official tells ABC News President Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner met with Ukrainian officials in Miami. The two sides agree on a framework for security guarantee agreements and necessary deterrence capabilities they say could lead to a lasting peace. The White House also confirms a 2-hour phone call between President Zelensky, Witkoff, and Kushner. Earlier in the week, Putin met with Witkoff and Kushner in Moscow, that meeting lasting nearly 5 hours. President Trump describing it as a good meeting.
He would like to end the war. That was their impression.
The Kremlin describing the talks as useful, but says no compromise plan was agreed to. And just last week, Putin saying he is ready in principle to fight to the last Ukrainian. Perry Russum, ABC News, New York.
Well, it's only getting colder here in the state line, and sadly, we're seeing more snow. I mean, look at that. Jordan tells us what to expect for the upcoming week next.
Now, your First Warn weather forecast from meteorologist Jordan Wolf.
Fresh snow coming down across much of the state line, quickly accumulating on much of those roadways. We take a live look with our Mercy Health SkyTrack camera up in Beloit, Wisconsin, where you can't even tell that there's a road down there anymore. The snow covering it up. And in many spots, all of the snow really only started about 2 hours or 2.5 hours ago. So you can just see how quickly some of that snow has been building up. And with more of that to come down, we'll likely see that additional accumulation through the night. Visibility is down under a mile in many spots, 0.8 miles of visibility in Rockford and Janesville, half mile of visibility in Galena, 2 miles of visibility in Monroe, Sterling, and in DeKalb. Where you get below a half mile of visibility, that's where you're looking at some very intense, if not very heavy snowfall that is coming down. And that's what we have starting to spread into the area. The steadiest of that snow sitting around here where we have some of those lighter to middle blues, but the darkest shade of blues down to the south and to the southwest, that's where you have some of the more intense bands of snow that are currently developing near the Quad Cities. And in many spots with these darker bands, especially near Davenport, snowfall rates may be upwards, if not exceeding 1 inch per hour. The large majority of that will likely hug closer to the I-88 corridor, if not just to the north of that. So I don't expect those heaviest bands to pass over much of downtown Rockford or areas further to the north of that. This is how things have developed through Futurecast. Most of the heaviest bands of snow, again, along I-88, so areas like Carroll and Whiteside counties, Ogle and Lee, and much of DeKalb counties, anywhere north of Highway 20, not seeing as much of that heavier snow, but still could see steady snow with snowfall rates in excess of 1/2 inch per hour through much of the night. The heaviest of that snow comes down between about midnight and 4 a.m., and then eventually things will slowly start to wind down there going forward, with much of the snow ending by the time we head beyond 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. And we might even get some patches of sunshine for the afternoon, but that does not come with a great deal of warming up, as many spots will be stuck in the 20s. Then we get our next round of Arctic air, and many spots could dip down toward the 0-degree mark that following night. So all told, when everything is said and done, many spots in the state line will end up seeing between 3 and 6 inches of new snow. Those heaviest bands near and along that I-88 corridor might have the potential to exceed 6 inches in a few very localized, very isolated spots. But generally, most of us will end up between 3 and 6 inches. Heaviest of that snow coming down, more confidence on that across portions of Carroll and Whiteside counties, hence why they are under a winter storm warning that will run through tomorrow morning. The rest of us in the state line underneath a winter weather advisory that is also set to expire early Sunday morning. But after that expires, we still could see some blowing and drifting and some lingering impacts, as our winds will then pick up from the north with that Arctic high pressure taking hold. Our winds could gust near 20 or 25 miles per hour for at least parts of the afternoon. So blowing and drifting may remain a concern even going into the middle of the day. Eventually going into Monday night, we get that wind that flips around and come back out of the south, and that will feed into our next several weather systems that we have. Another one could bring a dusting of snow possibly possible Monday night, a chance for some rain and wintry mix then Tuesday night, and then another chance for some light snow on Thursday. So a more active pattern going forward, but I do think that the most impactful snowfall that we have in the shorter term is what we have going on right now. Additional snow chances going forward don't look nearly as impactful. 21 degrees for Sunday, down to 1 that following night. We do start to warm up Tuesday into Wednesday, but that comes with the chance for some wintry mix and then another round of Arctic high pressure. High temperatures in the teens by next weekend.
Thanks, Jordan. Drew's next with sports. The College Football Conference Championships are underway. Stick around to catch updated scores and highlights.
Now sports with Drew Collins.
The college football slate brought us some conference championships across the NCAA. There's no bigger game to set the stage than the SEC championship between Alabama and Georgia. It took almost a full quarter for someone to score, and it was the Dogs. Play action gets Georgia on the board first. Bama would surrender another TD before the end of the half. The Dogs led 14-0. The Georgia offense was getting warm, and their defense is nasty. And it wasn't until the fourth quarter until the Crimson Tide would score, but Georgia nearly shut them out. Gunnar Stockton only 6 incompletions alongside 3 touchdowns. Georgia takes it 28-7 over the Crimson Tide. The Big 12 game also was a disappointment. BYU was held to 7 points. Meanwhile, Texas Tech scored 34. So, yeah, you were seeing it correctly. BYU took the lead in the first quarter, then gave up 34 unanswered points. Bachmeier threw 2 interceptions, and the Cougars had 4 total turnovers, while Tech had none. With Bama falling and also BYU getting blown out in the Big 12 championship and Duke beating Virginia, could we see Notre Dame, Miami, or possibly someone else secure a playoff spot? I know Texas fans are definitely trying to make their case. The Red Raiders take it 34-7. In the Big 10 championship, the Indiana Hoosiers take down the Buckeyes 13-10. It's Indiana's first outright Big 10 championship since 1945. But the biggest upset of the day goes to Illinois State. The Redbirds were playing in the FCS playoffs against the #1 seed at North Dakota State. The Redbirds trailed 14-0 in the second quarter. Victor Dawson rips off a long one for a touchdown. Final minute of the game, trailing by 7, Tommy Rittenhouse, 4th down, touchdown pass. Hey, the Redbirds go for 2. Rittenhouse this time has Scotty Preston Jr. in the end zone to give ISU the lead. The Redbirds held on for a 29-28 win. It's their first win over North Dakota State since 2010. DuPec graduate Jake Anderson forced 1 fumble and he recovered 1 fumble. ISU advances to the quarterfinals. Another local football player also shined today. Lena Winslow graduate Romarion Roby had this pick 6 for North Central College in the NCAA Division III playoffs. Roby also had a second interception in the game, and alongside 6 tackles, North Central defeated UW La Crosse 35-27. The Cardinals advanced to the quarterfinals, and they are 12-0. The Blackhawks faced the Kings out in Los Angeles, and the Hawks lost 6-0. Over in the BMO Center, the Ice Hogs hosted the Teddy Bear Toss tonight. The Colorado Eagles took a 2-zip lead before the Hogs made it rain those Teddy Bears. It was Samuel Savoie scoring the first goal, and here it comes onto the chilly ice. Take a look at that. But the Hogs will fall in this one to the Eagles, 2-1. That's sports. We'll be right back.
Steady to moderate snow spreading across parts of the state line here this evening, the heaviest of which could likely see a couple snowfall rates exceed 1 inch per hour. The best chance for that would be along I-88, where you may even see the potential for some spots to get upwards of 6 inches of snow. Here's a look at the First One Interactive Radar from Rockford, Glass, and Laura. Temperatures only dropping to the 20s for tomorrow afternoon, 1 that following night. We do see a few warm days next week.
That's our show. Thanks for joining us and have a good night.